Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this episode of SBB Live. I am your host and the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, Amanda Barton. Excited today to bring on one of our partners who's with Assisted Living Locators in, correct me if I'm wrong here, Giselle, your North Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Punta Gorda, right?
Yes, it's North Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, the whole entire Port Charlotte area and up to Venice.
Okay, perfect. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this industry of senior living, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what Assisted Living Locators is.
Sure. Thank you for having me here, Amanda, first of all. And yes, actually, about 8 years ago, give or take, we went through a similar process with my auntie. She needed more help and care, and supervision because she was living all alone at her house. So what happened is that by then that my cousin ended up placing her on a facility, and on a period of about 2 years, she had to move for about 4 different facilities. For many reasons. Okay. The end of the day, what happened here is that it's really not much of the awareness of the community. The information is not that much available to the families out there, because nobody have to face that decision until you actually have somebody to move into a community. Mm-hmm. So for the most part, people are not aware of what these communities can do for your loved one and what the prices are and so on. So based on that, we went through a lot, like I said, about 8 years ago, and 4 years after, which is going to be about 4 years ago, I was looking for a different career for myself. I come from a sales career, and I wanted to change, that in my life. I had my kid, and I wanted something else. And Assisted Living Locators franchise came up, and it was like like a God given. I said, this is it. This is what I envision myself doing. It's something that I can actually provide and feel good about it.
Yeah.
There's so many options.
Yeah. And it sounds like what happened with your grandmother and or your aunt not doing that upfront work that, that's probably what led you to this career. Truly is not knowing what you didn't know then, and being able to make sure families didn't have to go through what you went through. So tell us about Assisted Living Locators. What is the business model, and how do you help families not get stressed out when they're going through this process?
Yeah, well, the process is very simple. We hear about the families that need to place mom, dad, whoever. It could be assisted living, memory care. We also help with independent living. So the business model is actually to be there for these families and give them the tools to make an educated decision. To make it's not just all bells and whistles when you come into a community. Like I tell my family, the families that I work with, don't fall for the chandelier. There is more to these communities than just how the lobby looks. Okay. So we want to make sure that they know what sort of care these communities are able to provide for their loved one. We want to make sure that they know their pricing. There is a lot of pricing difference between one community and the other. There is that license difference as well. And even when two communities might share the same license, it is not or may not be the same services they may provide. So we want to make sure that when a family is looking at these communities, they really focus on what's important for mom or dad, more than just how big the showers are or how beautiful the lobby at the entrance is. So we want to make sure that, they know, okay, what does mom need? Does she need a walk-in shower? Does she need something to grab onto the walls to be able to move around the community? If they have an injection to be given on a daily basis, is this community able to provide that or not? So that's what we want to make sure. We want to make sure that this is a very stressful situation to be in. You have your mom, your dad, that you always live with them, or they always lived on their own, and you have to place them because they really need supervision. They need the care. So it's really overwhelming having to think, or where can I place my mom that's going to have a good life, for whatever the amount of time is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so stressful to go around to, 7 or 8 different places and not know that back end information, and I agree with you. You got to look past the beautiful chandeliers and get to know the care, the information that someone just walking in the door may not know. You got to do your research because it's such a big deal. You don't want to go through like what you went through where you're moving 4 or 5 times when you could have done your upfront research and really saved that time.
And the funny thing is that actually what my cousin actually did at the end, he actually ended up placing my auntie on a small home setting community, which at the beginning you might not even consider that, or he didn't even consider that, but it happened to be the perfect fit for his mom, for my auntie. So like I said, it's just a matter of what exactly does mom needs.
Right.
And what is the community able to provide? And like I said, this is not like, when we want to buy a car, we do a lot of research about cars, but we never face this decision until it's actually right in our face. Mom is falling way too often. Dad is forgetting way too many things, and we need to do something. We cannot be there with mom or dad, 24/7. They need supervision. They need to be at a place that is going to be able to provide that care.
Sure.
And we need to make a decision really quick, and it might be already too late for you if you start with so many options. It might get overwhelming.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I really think that a company like yours helps narrow those options without the stress. So really, it is a shortcut when you're thinking about shopping for senior living, that you reach out to one of these placement agencies such as Assisted Living Locators that does all that back end research for you. And Gisel, specializing in Cape Coral, North Fort Myers, and all of Charlotte County. His information's in the chat above. Make sure you click that and reach out to him if you're thinking about moving into a senior living community. Gisel, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know it's extremely valuable and you're running around helping families. So thank you for taking time out of your day.
do you mind really quick if I just say, I want to make sure that families know that there is no fees for our services.
Yes.
So that's very important. I don't want them to feel afraid to give us a call, because there is no, we don't charge them. The seniors and their family don't ever pay us. Okay, yes. So that's a service that they can make use of it. Okay, and even if we don't have the resources or the actual answer for them, believe me, we're going to have the resources for them to actually seek out and find the answers they may need at that point.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Thank you, Amanda. Really appreciated the opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gisel.